One of the biggest impacts I've noticed with vlogging or content creation is the barrier to entry. And if there's anything stopping me or making it just slightly more difficult from creating that content on any given day, there's a higher chance that I'm not going to shoot as many shots or just create the video that I have in mind. So making the process as easy as I possibly can for myself inevitably ends up meaning that I create more content. So that was my exact goal when putting together this ultimate vlogging setup for 2024. Now, I've gone with not a very budget option, but I am going to include a few options for slightly more budget versions or different entry levels that you might want to get into. I also travel a lot and move country almost every single month. So each one of these pieces of gear has been meticulously planned and thought out to limit the amount of stuff. I'm going with like a bare bones, the things that are going to make the most difference that I need. And this is also nice for people that are getting into it that don't want to spend money on a whole bunch of endless filmmaking accessories that you might not actually need. I've been using an A7S III for a good couple of years now to create all of my content. It's what I'm filming on right now. And I was perfectly happy with that camera, thinking that I didn't need anything else, but I did want a B camera and a camera to start vlogging on. And once I got the camera that I'm going to discuss in today's video, to be honest, I haven't picked up my A7S III even once, aside from filming studio videos like this, which has got to speak volumes. This video isn't just about the camera though, nor the lens. I've put together the ultimate vlogging setup or content creation out in the world setup, which will also be used extremely well for indoor studio videos like this. One of the main reasons that I actually put these items together as a vlog setup is because I've actually started a vlog channel. It's a separate channel from this one, and it covers pretty much like the actual behind the scenes of what life as a full-time YouTuber and content creator, busy traveling and doing cool adventures is actually like. If you guys are interested in that, that's also going to be linked down below. If you're just interested in these tutorial videos, then you're in the right place. You can hang out right here. So I went with the Sony ZV-E1. This is a powerhouse of a camera. It's pretty much the same internals as my Sony A7S III, significantly smaller, simpler to use. It has a lot of other cool features, better stabilization, and some nifty little like focus styles and cinematic vlogs. I don't really use any of that. This is a very expensive camera, and if you are just starting out, my alternative to this would be something like the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II that just came out. That looks like an amazing camera as well, and it's a fraction of the cost of this one. It's the crop sensor version of this one, kind of, is how I see it. This one being full frame is going to give a better look in my opinion, but having that crop camera is going to be such a nice camera for you to create the content that you want, and it's going to give you a really nice and professional look if you pair it with the lenses that will make the biggest difference, which we're going to cover next. Something else I really like about this camera is it's durable, and I don't always want to fuss with having a microphone, and they include this little wind muff that you just slide into the hot shoe right here. That is going to mean that you're not getting that wind noise and anything like coming over your camera, but you also don't need to plug a microphone in every time and have that extra little setup. So I can pack it straight in a bag with this. It really doesn't matter. Now, the one thing is, I thought this microphone would be slightly better quality, to be honest. Although it is nice having this wind muff, I do often find myself using some alternative audio recording methods, and I'm gonna share that with you guys as well, just because I do want like a high quality vlogging setup, and this microphone is not it. But before we get to our audio stuff, let's look at lenses. So up until a few days ago, the lens that I was going for on this setup is the Sony G-Master 20mm f1.8. This lens is amazing. The 1.8 means it's shallow. You can get that bokeh background. It's a really nice, small, compact little lens, super nice build quality, everything you would want in a lens. I bought a different lens to use instead of this one. And I'll tell you why. This being a prime lens fixed at 20mm is just ever so slightly not wide enough if I'm doing any sort of selfie shot like this, which being dedicated vlogging setup, I'm going to be doing a lot of. So I got away with creating a bunch of vlogs on here. I maybe did about 10. And I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm enjoying this vlog process. I'm putting them out on the vlog channel pretty consistently. Let me get a different lens. So I got a different lens, which is almost the same, but it's a little bit more versatile. So the actual lens I went with, and I think either of these would be fine, but if I was gonna pick one, it would definitely be the new one. And this one is the 16 to 25 f2.8 G Master lens. They are very similar in size, slightly bigger, but the difference and the main reason is just because I can get a little bit wider on here, going all the way out to 16. And although it's only 4 millimeters difference, it actually ends up being a pretty vast difference in your framing in terms of including yourself at a close distance and including the background to give the viewer a better idea kind of what's going on. It's not just too punched in on your face explaining things. My previous one was like this, 20 mils, which is just a little bit too tight, especially if my arm gets lazy. I'm kind of holding it like this. Because if my arm is lazy, I can still be that wide, which is totally fine for vlogging. And I also have the option of going all the way into 25. So that's gonna be 16, that's gonna be 25. I wouldn't vlog like this, but if I want to shoot something, I can. This is a quite expensive lens. In terms of the Sony full frame lenses, it's not that bad. This is how much it costed. If you are doing something in the more budget range and you're going with something like the ZV-E10 Mark II, I would suggest either going with a 10 to 20 f4. That lens is amazing and it's going to be nice and wide, meaning that you're not going to run into the same issue that I had with this one. That's it for camera and lenses. I'm not going to cover any of the boring stuff, batteries, memory cards, whatever. You need that stuff. Just get whatever one works. So let's go into one of the biggest things that is making a difference for that barrier to entry that I mentioned before. And that is going to be something that I guarantee you don't expect. You want to know what it is? I'll tell you. It's this. It's a sling bag. Now, honestly, I never considered getting a sling bag. I didn't even think about it. But when I started vlogging and I had to have my big full-size camera backpack, and if I wanted to film anything, I needed to take that backpack off, get my camera out, film the shot, put it back in the backpack, put my backpack back on. It's just such a barrier to entry that if I'm busy missioning around, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna miss so many shots because of it. Having this sling bag means that I can have it right here, access to my gear the whole time. I can pack my camera and lens right in here, set up already, so that when I'm riding a scooter around in Bali or riding a bicycle around in Europe, whatever, going on a hike, I can see something cool or just want to update the camera, whatever, and I can just whip it out and have it right here. I can have extra batteries, everything. It means that I don't need that huge backpack every time I'm going around. Now, it doesn't matter what sling bag you get. Get whichever one, as long as it fits your gear and it's comfortable. Just get the cheapest one you can, whatever. If you want to get premium stuff, this is in no affiliation. I got this nomadic one. It's the Peter McKinnon one, but just get whichever one. It really doesn't matter to bag. It just makes it so much easier to store and access everything on the go, on the fly, which is exactly what vlogging is all about. So that single-handedly has meant I've vlogged more often. It's easier to vlog when I do vlog, and I capture better shots because of my just like ease of getting my camera out, get a shot, boom, 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 done, back in. Keep going. One thing I do like about this, before we move on, to make it even easier, if I'm just walking around, I don't even have to zip it back up again. It has this little hook, so I can grab my camera, don't have to close it. I just hook that on there. It's gonna stay there very nicely. I can move around, film all my things, vlogging, updating, what's up guys, subscribe. And then I just go, bam, put it back in, doof, walk around again. Like obviously if I'm gonna ride my scooter around and stuff, I'm probably not gonna leave it like that. But just for quick stuff, amazing. Now, here's another thing that is less important, but I do prioritize it still. And it's this right here on the lens. This is a variable ND filter paired with a mist filter. This is from Nissi. It's the Nissi Swift system, and it means I get a variable ND on here to control my shutter speed while maintaining my shallow depth of field with a low f-stop. And then I've put the mist filter on as well, and the mist filter is just basically a diffusion. It makes your highlights really nice and soft. I like the look of it, some people don't. It's a style preference. I keep it on all the time. I pretty much always shoot with the mist filter. It just gives this really nice kind of soft look in any of the highlights, and if you see, this is with the mist, and if I take it off, the whole background gets a lot sharper. It's like, in my opinion, not as nice. Some people don't like this look. I really like it, so I shoot everything like that. But that's the difference. If you want a mist filter, I would suggest for ND filters, variable ND filters, that you don't skimp out, because if you have a nice setup and you get some cheapo variable ND and put it on the front of your camera, it destroys your image. This video is also not in association with any filter companies, but I would recommend getting a nicer quality one. Nissi variable ND paired with the Swift system and the black mist quarter, really nice. This lives on all my cameras. There's one on this camera right now as well. So that's pretty much it. Let's go into audio, because audio is so often overlooked, especially when it comes to vlogging. Even I kind of did it. I was like, I'm gonna use this internal microphone. Don't. So I pretty much have two different setups for what I'm going for here. Both inconvenient, but it's not really a workaround for it. If I want to film something outside, I'm gonna use this. It's the Rode Video Mic Pro Plus. This is a really nice high quality shotgun microphone that will sit on top of the camera, making it incredibly inconvenient to take in and out of the bag. And this is difficult with one hand. So I obviously can't pack it away like this, but it is gonna make that sound quality significantly better. So if I have some important things, maybe a larger update or something that I wanna talk to the camera for a longer period of time, I'm gonna put this on. You can get the little built-in Sony ones. They don't need a cable or anything. And they're also a lot smaller. I couldn't justify buying one. They're quite expensive, and I do already have this one. If you're starting again with the non-budget setup, maybe go for one of those. They're a lot smaller, easier, no cables. It directly mounts to the hot shoe, and you can get significantly better audio like that. The one other audio method that I would often find myself using is this one right here. This is the Rode Wireless Go 2. I think if I was going to purchase it now, I'd get the Wireless Pro or something like that. These are nice just for doing stuff like this. And if I am vlogging and I don't want to worry about how close I am to the camera, maybe I'm setting up on a tripod and moving around, like showing stuff, depends on the nature of your vlogs. Having this, hook it on yourself, and you can be a little more hands-free and do whatever you want. Also a really nice feature. And the fact that you can be miles away from the camera, not miles, but far away from the camera, and not have to worry about keeping your microphone at an arm's length to get nice audio. So don't skimp on audio. It's super, super important. Like I always say, there's a reason people can listen to podcasts for hours, but no one's gonna watch a movie for hours with it on mute, or even worse than mute, really bad audio. So get nice stuff. The one other thing that is not essential is one of these little camera clips that go on your bag. And this one's from Peak Design. It's also very expensive, and I wouldn't recommend getting it if you're someone that's trying to get a slightly budget one. But the one thing I do like about it is that I just keep this Arca Swiss plate on the bottom of my camera at all times, which means it can easily clip into this tripod. But when I want to swap from the tripod, I can easily just take it off, clip it right in there, and walk around. If I do have my full camera bag, as much as I like the sling bag, I sometimes still take the full bag because maybe I'm doing a real shoot and a vlog and I need to take multiple cameras, multiple lenses, maybe I need a drone. So the sling bag is for when I'm like shooting out, just vlogging, and then I'll take the backpack still if I'm shooting a bigger thing with multiple cameras, and then having that easy, boom, 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 really nice. So also recommend one of those. Let's get to the last thing, and one of the most important things. It's this little mini tripod. This one is the PGY-Tech Mantis Pro or whatever. Again, kind of get whichever one you want. Don't spend a crazy amount of money on this, but I do think getting one of those little GorillaPod slinky ones, they're good, but they don't last very long, and all the little joints loosen up very quickly, meaning that your camera doesn't stay nice on it, and there's a much higher chance of it falling over as well. This one's way more versatile. I can keep it like this and speak to myself whatever I want, and I can also open it up, put it down on the table. One thing I would highly recommend is getting one that does have a ball head on top of it, just so that I can angle my camera to however I want it. This one, yeah, really nice. I can change things like make it wider. I can change the angle of this. So this is my favorite one I've been using for a very long time now. It's even got a little cold shoe that you could put something like a mini microphone on. Yeah, this is absolutely essential. If you're vlogging, sometimes maybe you need a full-size tripod. I would also just recommend going with the absolute most cheapest tripod. At the end of the day, what does a tripod do? It just holds your camera up off the ground. Don't spend a crazy amount of money. It's like you need a fluid head moving your camera around to get like super smooth shots. It really doesn't matter. It's acting as a table with a stack of books. That's all it's really doing. It's just a mobile version version of that. Don't waste your money on a tripod. So that's pretty much gonna be it in terms of my ultimate vlogging setup. If you wanna see how this vlogging stuff works in action, you can go and check out the second channel, the vlog channel. We're pumping out videos there. People are really enjoying them. We're having a good time over there. I hope you enjoyed this and it maybe helps you figure out what kind of vlogging setup you might want. Have fun. Bye.